Forum, a forum to discuss truth and the friendly surrounding, like we do at home at the kitchen table. I do have the rights to perform the song, the notes and the lyrics, licensed by BMI. I'm your host for 2019. Kingdom Builders have not fired me yet, so I will be your host for 2019. We'll continue to lead compelling topics, and we'll continue to talk about different things that's relevant in the community and even in the world. My guests will be community leaders and professionals and real people whose stories will touch and inspire you. We are here today because we are starting off our first broadcast as we celebrate, at the same time commemorate, and even talk about the Joesph Bowser II. We are just glad that you have followed us throughout the 2018 year, and we ask that you continue to be with us. Our vision maybe changed a little bit, but right now it's still to catalyze and to energize, and we want to continue to bring people together. That's our goal. So before we do anything else, I want to start off by just doing something special. For those who may not know, today would be Joesph Bowser II's birthday. He will be 23 years old. So as you move the camera, let's show everybody that's at the table.
I don't think I've heard this one. This is a remix?
Yeah, this is a remix.
Okay.
This is a remix. This is a remix.
It's not Stevie.
All right, we'll continue. Our producer, Tiffany Smith, Ronnie Hoyt, Carl English, Mike Campbell. My son is on the Facebook Live camera. For today is Kara Bolden and Yvonne Armstrong. My co-host, my main man, Doug Jones. Program coordinator is Tiffany Smith. Deacon Doug Jones, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing great. Bishop, how you doing?
I'm good. It is snowing. I've been used to a more of a warmer climate, and I'm struggling right now. I was taking a little nap prior to the show. My son said, Dad, he doesn't live with us anymore. He moved out, but he was at the house. Dad said it's snowing outside, and so I had to really consider canceling. Then I remember I got Tracy, my girl, in India, my daughter.
Right. Did you end up
spiritual daughter.
Did you end up getting your car taken care of?
No.
Okay.
No, yeah. My car did stop on me, and we're going to have to get it towed, and you pray for so. But today we have Kara, we have India Bowser, and we have Tracy Cummings. Tracy, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Tracy, welcome to the show. And of course, India, welcome to the show. I'm going to start off by saying Joesph Edward Bowser, Little Joe, the second, he actually died on Friday, March 23rd. So next month will be a year. Today is his birthday. He was born on February 10th, 1996, right here in the city of Battle Creek. Mom, Tracy Cummings, and the dad, Joesph Bowser, #1. For those who do not know and remember, but Joe was a graduate of Battle Creek Central, class of 2014. He was a student of engineering at Western Michigan. And a side note, he and his sister, they would have been graduating. Now his sister, Alexia, she will be graduating. Tino, I know we don't want to do this with you, but kind of turn that and let everybody see her on live. Just turn that back. I know we doing everything different. There you go, Alexia. Hey, congratulations, y'all. That's it. She will be graduating also, and then we will be celebrating that also. And Mom may talk more about that. He worked part-time for Remington Car Wash at the time. He and his father with the Pittman Painting, His last assignment was at our church, and we were happy about that. Very intelligent. He was a member of the National Honor Society, and many people loved him. He was a problem solver. Such fun, loving, caring spirit, enjoy helping others without hesitation. Big, contagious smile, was everlasting. Once you met him, you would be smiling, etc., etc. So today, I want to turn it over to the mom. And mom, with mixed emotions, celebrating his birthday at the same time. He's not here with you. How did you feel when you woke up this morning, obviously knowing what today would be, even last night? Can you tell us?
Well, it's been very emotional.
Where did Tisha go?
Last night, it was on my mind the whole time. I could barely sleep, but I finally cried myself to sleep. This morning, I knew that I would get up and go to church. I had already said that I was going to do something to just stay busy today, and definitely honor and celebrate my son. If he was here, that's what we would have done. So I decided that's what I would do today, and that's what I'm doing today.
So last night, obviously, was the eve of his birthday, and you woke up this morning, boom, where was your head at?
I guess it was just like, it might sound a bit strange, but it's just easier not to think about it, and maybe not necessarily feel like it's real, so you can kind of like deal with it, kind of put it to the back, because just thinking about it is, I could just sit and cry all day, and I know that I can't. But it's just a very, very difficult to even wrap my mind around. I mean, honestly, I was just like, I just want to just lay here and not do absolutely anything today. Just pretty much just put my head underneath the cover, and I mean, that's just what I wanted to do. I didn't want to do absolutely anything, so that's how I was feeling today.
You may not hear this, but I'm going to just ask this question. This is like a carefree show, and as I feel inspired, I just ask certain questions. I'm going to direct this question because the other sister is here in the studio. Alexi, I want to ask you, if your brother was here, off the top of your head, what would y'all have done, honestly?
Well, last year, he told me he wanted a hotel room. So, I probably would have gave him some money. Well, probably would have ate something, made him dinner or something. I probably would have gave him money for a hotel room so he could drink. I would have gave him what he wanted that he told me last year. That's what probably we would have been doing.
Yeah, you would have paid for a hotel room.
Yes.
Praise the Lord. All right. So that's important. That's the reason why I want to share those thoughts, because I have eulogized. I mean, I guess my position would demand it. Literally hundreds of services, and this is the first time in my entire life that I have really stayed with the family. From the beginning to now, really, honestly, I just never. I mean, you know, most people don't do that. They life do move on, and that's what we're practicing doing. But at the same time, we are still facing something, and today we're going to just throw some things out. I'm going to give you my thought about this whole case, but I would like to just hear. It'll be a year, Tracy, and as of right now, there is really no movement. How do you feel about that? Where are you at with that? We'll deal with the foundation, we'll deal with the Joesph Bowser Center, all that stuff later, but just knowing that next month, less than 30 days, will be on the anniversary of your son. And right now, we don't have anything as it relates to the one that took your son's life.
Well, I'm really struggling with that. That's been going through my mind a lot. I think it's getting worse his birthday, even like the Christmas holiday, Thanksgiving holiday, I kind of just prepared myself that this is just another day. But his birthday, I couldn't do that. It was like today has been the worst day that I've had since March 23rd, because I would have been celebrating with him, and I cannot put that to the side. It's his day. I remember the day he was born. I remember giving birth to him, going to the hospital. So this is my hardest day since. And other than, well, the funeral was the hardest day. I think this is the second hardest day. And then I go to, I'm creeping up on that day. It's going to be a year, and I don't have an answer. I'm not closer to an answer than I was last year on the 23rd. I met with the detective just Friday, and there's some things that I feel like the case is moving in the right direction, but I still don't have an answer. And now I'm getting to the point that I'm angrier, and if something isn't done, then I feel like we should be taking other avenues. And that's just the way I feel about it.
Same question to you, daughter. It will be a year.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing really going on. Where you at with that?
I can just be honest as far as like when I had initially got the call from Lexi that Joe had been killed, I just knew in my heart, just immediately, okay, like, well, somebody's gonna be arrested. Like, okay, what's going on with that? Like, I knew for a fact, like, I had total conviction that someone would be arrested immediately, just because I knew the type of guy that Joe was. I knew that he's a good person, and he's not the type of dude that would be caught up in a situation where his crime would be unsolved. So to think now, a year later, as my mom stated, we're still in the same position that we were in last year, the same exact, but we don't have no one's been arrested, and it's unfortunate because, you know, with all these other crimes that have happened over the past year since Joe's passing, it's like they're immediately on it. The people are being arrested, and you know, the human in me is a bit jealous about it. I have a bit of maybe jealousy isn't the right word, but resentment maybe that, you know, my brother's case, for some reason, they can't catch or even get a lead, and he was such a good young man. So not to take away from anyone else that has passed, but it's just very frustrating when someone's shot and the next day or the week later, you know, someone's arrested or they have leads. They don't have anything for my brother. So it's just, but as my mom said, I do feel like, you know, the detective that is on Joe's case is trying to do everything that he's trying to do what he can do. And I'm comfortable with that at this point. Of course, it could be more that could be done, I feel. But, I mean, what can we do at this point? We've done everything.
That's a fair analogy. That's fair to feel the way she feels. Whether the word is jealous, envious, that is very normal. And I'm going to shed light on that as I share with you all my thought about what is happening. And then I'm going to kind of put this responsibility back on the community. But digging back in the show, we've watched this, man, for a year. It'll be a year. You being not such an outsider, but also kind of being a part of the family, being close with me, watching them as members of the church. But from a different perspective, how you see this as it relates to just the community, you know, trying to put yourself in those shoes. How that make you feel, Deacon?
It's frustrating. You know, I knew Joe, and, you know, Joe was a good guy. One thing that I try to keep focused on is the possibility of somebody, you know, getting arrested, you know, justice prevailing. Sometimes, you know, it takes time. But what's really strange is nobody has come forward that knows something that can help solve this case. And I think that's probably the most frustrating thing for me. What if it was somebody in my family? You know, what if it was somebody that was really, really close to me? You know, I can relate to how, you know, Tracy, India, and Lexi feel, and Joe. But it's hard. It's frustrating. You know, I know, and it hurts, especially when you know somebody out there knows what's going on.
Well, before I share my thoughts, because I think my thoughts is going to probably bring a lot of attention and even feedback as we look at the those that may be giving comments. I'd first like to say, India, it's been a year.
Yeah.
And when I first met you, you were like 300 pounds.
Bishop?
Just kidding.
Yeah.
You were a certain size, and you went on a major program, and then you went on Facebook and told everybody how to do it. Tell us about that. I gotta lighten the load, you guys. So tell us what you did, cause you look gorgeous, you look beautiful. I'm so happy. I mean, you look beautiful when you were fluffy, but you look very beautiful now. So, DJ, come on, let's forget everybody else. Let me get her head, DJ. Come on. So tell us, in the midst of all that you're going through, you did something. Let's talk about it. What'd you do? Because maybe we can market this program and sell it.
Potentially. Okay.
Yeah.
So after Joe died, I went through a bit of a lot of things were put in perspective for me, and it was just like I knew I wasn't happy with where I was at, within myself, and I just felt like I had to take control of something. Everything else was kind of spiraling out of control as far as my circumstances. So I just was fed up, and it was literally like, okay, I got inspiration from a YouTuber that I watch, and I just seen it was just doing something amazing to her, and I was like, well, let me see what that's about. I did a ton of research. I spent hours and hours and hours, you know, watching YouTube videos, reading things, getting my recipes together. And I just did it.
What was it that you did?
The ketogenic diet.
Thanks, Mama. Yeah, daughter ain't explain. Mama being mama. What did you do? We talk about weight.
The ketogenic diet. So it's pretty much a high fat, low carb, no sugar diet. And it's worked for me. I also do intermittent fasting, where I fast from 16 to 20 hours a day.
Now, that's not for Jesus. That's just for weight loss.
Yeah.
Okay. So that means church folks could fast too, then, couldn't they?
Oh, of course.
Because church folks like they can't fast.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
They can fast and lose weight, but not for Jesus.
right.
Okay, keep going. Okay.
So that's pretty much, it's just a lifestyle. I mean, I just felt like,
How many pounds you do?
huh?
How many pounds you do?
I've lost 40 right now.
Wow.
I still not where my ultimate goal. So I have a few more that I want to lose. So I just felt like it was something I needed to do for myself, because everything else was kind of out of my hands. So.
As a counselor, and a lot of people will never understand sometimes why I do what I do. At the end of the day, you still have a mom that's gonna be hurt, and only if you lost a child you'll know. And you got a sister that's gonna be hurt, and another sister. At the end of the day, I'm still trying to get people to see life after tragic. And so the reason why we have these discussions, because when I made a promise to Tracy that I'll be with her, I also knew I was dealing with two other girls who could have just went just the opposite. Tracy could have been dealing with not just the grieving of her son, but she could have been dealing with the grieving of her two daughters, because in some cases when that happens, that kind of go off. I want Tracy to kind of, you don't have to be too transparent, Tracy, but whatever you think that's going to help you. You had some challenges. I mean, you were going through some major challenges where it was almost self-destructive. Why we're having these discussions? Because you can learn from this situation. It's not just so much about the Joesph situation. Look at what has happened to the family and how they've dealt with it. And because I would share my opinion and my thoughts once we get further. But Tracy, there were some things that happened with you, self-destructive behaviors that, you ready to give up. I mean, you were just done. Why don't you talk about that if you feel led to?
Well, like he stated, Bishop, you never know how it is to lose a child and to live on until you've lost one. It's a struggle every day, every second. I've had a lot of issues that I've had to deal with. Having to see my family be broken. Myself, I feel like my life was over. The hardest thing I had to do was to see my son laying in a casket. That hurt me. That really was self-destructing, I guess. I didn't want to live anymore. That thought goes through my mind every day. I see it when I go to sleep. I see it when I wake up. And no mother wants to see her child in a casket. And I didn't want to live anymore. Some days I still feel like that. I try to go on, it's not, and I tell my daughters, it's not anything to do with them, it's just what's inside of me, because what's taken over me to see my child laying in a casket. I'll never be able to kiss him and laugh with him and have today to celebrate his life. I just try every day to just try. It's like I'll never forget it, that thought. As long as I have breath in my body, I'll see that forever. So I try to do things to just try to live. It's not about anybody else, it's about me. I still love my family. My family gathers around me and tell me, Tracy, don't do this, don't think that. But you can never tell no one what not to think and what not to feel, because they haven't been in my shoes to have to walk in a church to see their child laying in a casket. So I feel that I just try every day to, and sometimes I tell myself, like today is like, what would Joe want me to do? And I've told Bishop too, no, my son would want me to be with him. I know that, because that's the kind of relationship we have, but I'm still here. So that means while I'm here, I'm gonna try to honor him in the best way that I can. Some days are gonna be bad, some days are gonna be good. I'm determined to try to find justice for him. And I think that's the thing that keeps me living. Like, what would you want me to do, Joe? Can you give me a sign? Can you, something? Because I want to know who did this to you, because I cannot live on this earth knowing that someone did that to you, and I had to come in that auditorium and see you in that casket. That's on me. I'm here to fight for you and fight for him. And that's what I deal with. That's my life. That's for the rest of my life. I'm going to deal with that.
So, and as her pastor, and as a individual that's been trained in counseling and grieving and all that kind of stuff, she has every right to be in that spot. I don't try to get her out that spot. But what I try to do is to also get her to think about another spot. So without going into detail, there was a situation, which we won't go into the situation, but Tracy, myself, India, and Alexia was together. And I kind of became very aggressive as a father, would be upset. And I told her immediately in the room, I said, there go Joe standing right now. What would he say? And for those that understand, we live in, there's two worlds. And we don't want to go into no theology. But we are just a spiritual person. We're spiritual people, and God gave us a body to communicate on the earth. This is just a shell of a person that you see. The real me is inside the spirit. We were spirit first. When we die, unfortunately, our body's gone. And so we have to be moved to another realm, okay? And I believe in that, and there's biblical foundation to support that. Anyone can challenge that, and that's okay. So what I do is I take the spirit of Joe. I was not, I knew the dad very, very well, but Joe was a young fella, so I was out of town. I saw his skills, but I didn't know any of them. I didn't really know India. I didn't really know Alexia. I didn't know Tracy at all. So I got to know him through what other people said. And that's what I mean by keeping somebody alive. So I said that to Tracy without telling us why we had that conversation, Tracy. And you're helping other people even though you don't realize it. Even though when you say, well, it's about me, in the midst of it being about her, she's helping people, and folks don't even know she's helping people. So without going into detail, when I put him in that room, what did that do to you? Because I'm for sure you can remember the incident, correct?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that day, I wasn't in a good place. My daughters didn't even know where I was. I had left our apartment. And for Bishop to come in and my daughters to come in and just tell me really what they saw and how they felt, I think that I didn't really see things in the perspective from their eyes. I didn't see or think about Joe in the spirit. I just thought about, I cannot touch my son in the flesh. I cannot kiss him. But just to think of that his spirit still being here, that it still lives on through us, through our daughters, the things we do, the positive way that we are doing now, that there are things, and I had a lot of people come up to me at over the weekend at our fundraiser and just say such nice things about Joe, and that they really want justice for him, and they've been reading about this young man, they've been hearing about him. So his spirit is still living on, even though he's not here. I can't tell him happy birthday today. I can't, get his hotel room or whatever his sister said he wanted. But it's just his spirit for me to get up and just I never ever thought that I'd be able to get through today or any day. But I was able to get through today and try to celebrate his name, go to church, because that was something I knew that I had to do to get through the day. And it was just, I guess, his spirit leading me to say, hey, Mom, this is what you need to do. This is best for you.
So we are celebrating the month of February is Black History Month that this country has given you colored people to celebrate our history. And you have all kind of black men and women that have done wonderful things. I remember having a conversation with Martin Luther King III, and we were talking about his father, the late Martin Luther King Jr. And he was sitting to my left. We was in New York with the Reverend Al Sharpton. And the Reverend Al Sharpton and myself and the committee was putting a program together in the name of Martin Luther King Jr. And the third was sitting to my left. And everybody was just talking about Martin Luther King. Now this is obviously years later. He was assassinated in '68, and this is probably in the late '90s. And we're just having this conversation about Martin Luther King, and it just hit me. Man, we're talking about this dude's dad. And I kind of went to him and said, how does this make you feel? And he said, hey, I was young when my dad got killed. He said, and I remember him as a father. He said, but I know that he's helping the world. I said, so when everybody talking about your dad, he said, I'm for sure this is what my dad would probably want. What am I saying? India just mentioned about the 3 other young men that was killed, and they jumped on it. I believe that one of the reasons why they jumped on it is because of Joe Bowser. It doesn't do anything for Tracy, but Joseph's death is doing something for our community. It's hard for Mary to ever think that her son was a sacrifice. No mother could ever accept. Nicole would never want to accept Tino being a sacrifice, and I wouldn't want Tino to be a sacrifice. So I could always understand that. And the reason why I say that, because that let Tracy know I'm not being blind to reality. That's why I always compare the two. You can't tell one mom, well, it's a sacrifice. No, I wouldn't want it either. But what happened is, obviously, that seed in the ground. So we got, every time something happened, there's a phone call given to us. Because they feel what India feel. We better call the Joesph Center. We better call Dr. Smith, because I know he's already thinking. I am a believer, and I'm going to do it just like this. Show the camera on Doug Jones. Can you show Doug Jones? That's my guy, okay? Put us on a hold. Show everybody. This is a scenario that I believe. Doug Jones has a son. I have a son. DJ and I are very, very, very close. My son get killed. Doug Jones' son would come by the house. He'd talk to my wife. He'd even talk to me. And then one day, my son is shot and dead. I don't see Doug's son. Doug's son never stopped and visit my wife. That's strange to me. Wondering why. Now, Doug is in a situation that Bishop lost his son. Man, I don't want to lose my son. I know there's a right thing to do, but then there's something about protecting your child. I believe that's what we're dealing with. I don't believe Chief, the police department, I believe they're trying all they can. And FYI, y'all, I'm not getting a paycheck for this. The chief and I, we have a very mutual respect, but if I think they're messing up, I'll say it in a heartbeat. I don't think that's the case with Joe Bowser II. Prosecutor, he's afraid to maybe prosecute right now because if we lose the case, we can't try it again. So I'll give you some leeway, prosecutor. But what I would like to see is, if my scenario is even close, you as a father got to deal with that. If my scenario is close, you got to deal with the fact that your son hands are dirty. And I get it as a father. I mean, I would want to protect my son. Reverse the situation. Now, don't say the right thing. Say an honest thing, DJ. If you was in that situation, and it's kind of close to you that your son is the reason why my son is dead, and we tight. Think about it. How would you deal with that?
I couldn't live with myself not telling the truth, not asking my son, who knows something, to come forward, and I wouldn't protect him. You know, it kind of goes back to my mom when she turned my brother in. He spent 12 years in prison. She did it for his good. She didn't try to protect him. She did it because she loved him.
I want y'all to respond on Facebook. I don't, just say yeah or nay. You don't have to. But how would you respond to that? Because I'm, as of today, what DJ said is the right, most integrity thing to say. I don't know if I would do it. I'd be like, well, Keno's already gone. Not saying it's right. Community, that's why we having the struggle with who killed Joe Bowser II. And all we can do now is make this thing spiritual and pray for the fathers, the mothers. And your son hands are dirty. We've already went through that distraction and had us thinking it was somebody over here, somebody over there. It's in the neighborhood. It's in the family. And that is a problem. And that's why the pain is so real, because it's closer than we think. And so, India, what is your thought about that? What I got, 10 minutes, 15 minutes? Well, what's your thought about that, India?
I just feel like I don't know what happened. I don't know what transpired, but I know who the players are, and it is frustrating because it's a very muddy situation. Not to get into too many details,
Right.
but it's just like the people that you would think would act a certain way. There's been people that were friends with Joe his entire life, probably almost close to 20 years of friendship. So he died at 22, so probably like 15 to 20 years of friendships. They have not called my mom. They have not checked on my mom, haven't checked on us. And did not shed tears at his funeral. I guess hindsight is 20/20 because things that are so apparent now weren't at that point because you just didn't want to believe it. So there's people that have been in our space, my mother have fed, that know what happened and are responsible for this. So, and you're showing all of your colors because you switched up.
And if you don't want us to go down that road, then somebody need to help us out. So I know you were grieving Tracy, and you may not even remember this, but I made the comment at the eulogy.
Yes, I remember.
That person, those people is probably in the room. Did you believe that then? Do you believe that now?
I did not believe that then. And I will say over these past 2 weeks, I've had a couple of Joe's really close boys that were really supposed to be his boys. They did come through and talk to me. I had a couple of them tell me, Tracy, we don't know what to say to you. We don't know how to even talk to you, how to approach you. But I said, you're here. He had his, supposed to be his best friend, Javante Dunbar. You haven't come to see me. Your family hasn't come to reach out to me. I've fed you. I've taken care of you just like I took care of Joe. But you haven't even come to see me. A lot of his friends told me they don't know what to say to me. Well, they came to me to talk to me. And there's certain friends that should do the same. And I feel like Javante Dunbar, you should be one of them. Your family should be one of them because Joe was a part of your family, so I thought. But I've been seeing a lot of things. They've been just coming to light. I didn't believe that, and I didn't believe those things would happen the day that it happened, the day of the service that Bishop is referring to. But now a lot of things have been open, and the light has come shine through, and I'm seeing a lot. But I know the first show that I did, I said that his friends weren't coming through. I hadn't had any of them come and reach out to me. I have to take that back because I had several come out and just show me love and show me respect. But like I said, one in particular, Javante Dunbar, I haven't seen him at all.
And I will hope that because I'm on the outside with these individuals, wouldn't know them personally. I know the families, obviously, just by hearing the names. I really suggest you do that. I'm for sure there's other names that you want to mention. I really think you should do that. I really think you should grieve with this mother because that's what you used to do. When you don't do that, it just makes things a little weary. And I hope you do that. And so let's go ahead and go into another light of this whole scenario. We are a 501c3 organization. We have never requested funds from any entities. However, Tracy and Alexia and India always communicated with me. I've always supported them from day one. There was a grant for the Community Foundation, and they wrote a grant to try to deal with the situation. Tell us about the grant that you all wrote, and then tell us what the results were, India.
So pretty much it is the burn.
Yes, it was a burn grant.
Okay, the burn grant. So pretty much I've had so many people reach out to me as far as asking, okay, where can we go for this, as far as support groups and just needing a place to go or having a resource that they maybe need help with the police, and because they've seen what we've been doing in the community. So pretty much we requested funds to help those initiatives, as far as having support groups, having licensed counselors available to the community, because it is a post-traumatic stress that we're dealing with, not just us, the people, the whole community. So there's absolutely no place to go that focus on people that are dealing with that are crime victims, as far as a heinous crime of murder. There's nothing that's specific to deal with that. So my mom is going to be certified in trauma yoga to give an alternate, method to deal with, PTSD. So, and then we're also going to try to help build the relationships with the community and the police, because we have to work together.
So think about it, y'all. Tracy's still living, because she's going to be training. She said Kwame yoga. What?
Trauma yoga.
Trauma? What is trauma yoga?
It's just another.
What is yoga first? Yogurt?
Yoga.
Oh, yoga.
Are you hungry?
No. I'm on the ketones like you. What's yoga, Tracy?
Yoga is an exercise that it's a mental breakdown. It's
So is it like this?
Stretching.
yeah, you're stretching your muscles, endurance, things like that. And then as far as the trauma sensitive, I will be trained on that.
All right.
So I will be learning more about that, and when I am certified, I can come back on the show and share that with everyone.
Y'all, so she's still living in the midst of her pain, y'all. Put your hands together, because she's still living. Okay, all right, okay, so, okay, stop clapping. So, therefore, with that being said, Brenda Hunt, thank you. Is it Community Foundation?
Yes,
Community
WK.
Foundation, thank you. Thank you. Brenda, listen. Thank you. You did it, you responded, and because of your organization and because of the committed people on the board of directors, you saw a need to support the program. And, okay, hold on. And we're told that the check is in the mail, so thank you very much for doing that, and we're excited. Again, it's part of living, it's a part of what we have to do, and that is also for the last 2 days, and first of all, last weekend, you that did do a contribution, I sent out, or I'm sending out all the different financial statements from 2018 for the church. Along that is, you that gave through the Joesph Bowser, you'll be getting a statement also. We're also going to be eventually establishing a board of directors. I will be talking directly with Tracy, India, and Alexia, and the father, Joesph. And we will be deciding how we're going to do the direction of the church, of the organization, as we have the corporation. They will continue to fall up under the Kingdom Builders with the 501c3, but it will be named Joesph Bowser Justice Center. We're also in the process of looking for a billboard. Now listen, if you got contacts, right now the billboards are like $1,000 a month. If you know some people that can help us get a billboard in the city of Battle Creek, please give us some names. We're trying to, my cousin Kay, she did it with her son. It was wonderful, and it worked. We want to have a billboard with Joe Bowser and a few other children named, if parents okay it, to promote the Joesph Bowser Center, and also have a hotline to call, and also to create more funds. So you that gave during your fellowship during the what you call it?
Fundraiser. The fundraiser.
Fundraiser. No,
Telethon.
we did telethon, which we will be doing again this year. And then just last 2 Saturdays, they were at Walmart. Tell us about your success and give the community their thank you.
We did it the last 2 weekends at Walmart, and we had a fundraiser, and people came and gave whatever was on their heart. We really appreciate everyone coming out. This week we wanted to do something because we wanted to do something in honor of Joe's birthday. That's why we did it 2 weeks in a row. We had a very good turnout. We had a lot of people come and tell us how much they appreciated what we're doing, that we are doing a great job, how much they love Joe, what Joe meant to them, just saying nice things about our whole family, church family as well. And I just want to thank everyone that came out, because this is going to help with the Justice Center. It's going to keep Joe's name alive. It's going to keep his spirit alive. And we will have things in the shopper to show what we're going to do with this therapy room, and just keep everyone updated on what we're doing with Joe's Justice Center, and it'll be great things. And I want to thank everyone that came out and supported, and even people that came and helped. Just thank everybody.
We don't have that much time left. I'm not sure what I have, but I'm asking you right now to give you like a 1 sentence or 2-word tribute to Joesph, and Doug will read it. So just say something about little Joe, and he's gonna read it out loud. If you got anything, that's what our live program is gonna do. We'll be able to talk to you live, but just say, put something, or love, or some hearts, hit some hearts, so we know that you've been following us and that you are supporting. But if you got a certain thing you want to say to Tracy, to India, to Alexia, to Big Joe, do it right now so we can just acknowledge you, because we are a community, and we're not just doing this. I heard someone say, well, he only doing this for Joe Bowser. No, this was the start. Tracy was going to this church. I'm that kind of person. I'm just committed. We don't want to have this with a bunch of people. We want to pray this is going to stop, is going to cease. But yes, when I'm with somebody to the end. So we'll keep doing this. And at the end of the day, before someone said, I'm getting tired of hearing it, always remember, you haven't lost a son or a child, period. And every year, even though your world has moved on, she's going to say 24, 25, 26, 39, 41, 50 until she passed on. That's a reality. So if you got any hearts, any love marks, just share right now.
A lot of hearts going up.
Just call off some of the names. Just say something real quick. Yo, what time I got? Go ahead, DJ. Tell me what you got.
We got Denise Joesph. Family keep
Y'all
fighting.
know I
Don't
can't
give
see her
up.
here.
Tears Todd. Loves you all. Keep the faith. More comments from Denise, Karen Nesbitt, Tiffany, Nikki, of course, Eddie Colvin. A host of people. Dorothy Kennedy commented, and a bunch
Read
of
some
watchers.
Read some of their comments.
Some of them, be strong.
Okay.
God has your back. I love you.
Good.
Earlier when you asked me about the scenario about my son and your son, most everybody commented that the right thing to do would be to tell, and it could save your son's life.
All right, all right. Good job. All right.
Who was actually looking at my son, if my son was to do something like that, he's going to look over his shoulder and come back in your hometown. How are people going to look at you and view you? So there's a lot of comments like that. So Ashley Lawson, Joe is my brother's role model. He strives every day to make Joe proud. Karen Hale, love you, family.
Wonderful, wonderful. So we are, I don't know if we lost track of the time. I know I've been out here for almost an hour, but you know what? We good. I want to first of all, one more time, 10 minutes. When is Alexia graduation?
April 27th.
April 27th. I'm for sure it's invites only for the banquet hall, but she's gonna have a big, what's the word y'all said? Big canoe.
Celebration.
Celebration. I want to think of that word.
Open house.
No, it's like a big canoe, something like that. Old school. You wouldn't know that. But anyway.
And then Joe is also, we're working on him, they're going to give him an honorary engineering degree from Western as well.
So Joe will be
day.
receiving an honorary degree along with our daughter over here. She'll be receiving her degree. And what I'm saying is, in the midst of their pain, y'all, the family is still moving forward. That is the message. Even though it's tough, we have to move forward because not only Joe would want that, that's what life is. All of us have to learn to move forward. And I want you to continue to watch the Bowser family in the dad absence. Joe, Big Joe, I love you. I got your back, man. Anytime you want to come on the show, please come on the show because it's important that you know that you are just as much in this as everybody else. I want to thank all of you for all that you have been doing for the Joe Bowser program. And I just want all of us to just start touching and agreeing because at the end of the day, you know, right now we're dealing with young people committing suicide. I did a service not too long ago where a young man took his life. We have young men destroying each other. This is black on black. This is black killing black. This north, south, east, west, all of that has to stop. And so this organization is a part of that. I'm working with a young man right now. Every time I talk to a young man, it reminds me of Joe. So even though Tracy is painful, the whole environment has changed because of your brother. It doesn't bring your son back, but as the late Martin Luther King and as his son says right now, Dr. King died as a young man in '68, but look at his legacy. It is 2019, and we still hearing about the great Dr. King. He left us in 1968. Do the Google, calculate that. 2019 minus 1968. How many years is that?
50 years.
50 years he's been gone.
51.
51. And we're still talking about the change. Because of Dr. King, we can have a show like this. We can, all of us, handsome, attractive, beautiful African Americans. Are you African American? Okay. African Americans, I just had to ask Tracy. The whole crew, African Americans, if it wasn't for Dr. King, we wouldn't be here. I know a lot of y'all young people say, oh, come on, Bishop, that's too extreme. But the reality is true. Because of Dr. King, we're able to speak and speak the way we speak. Because of Joesph Bowser II, the police department is jumping on it. Because of Joesph Bowser II, our community is coming together. Because of Joesph Bowser II, we're able to get our young people to move, work together, bond together. There's other names that have lost, and we do not ever want y'all to think we're neglecting you. We're just encouraging you to call the Joesph Center. Everyone that have lost their loved one and is still unsolved, we're asking you to call our office because we truly, truly, truly want to get you involved like we are with Joesph. Give us your last couple words. DJ, you go first, then India, give us something, and then Tracy, give us the last words, and then I'm going to come to my closing. We probably got about 5 minutes left.
Kind of excited for the Joe Bowser Justice Center. Can't wait to see that thing just take off and help a lot of people, and I think you guys would be great doing that.
Thank you.
Okay.
It's just an honor. I'm honored that Joe was my brother. It kind of is not frustrating, but I just wish that I would have maybe taken him, appreciated him more. He was just my little kid brother that used to get on my nerves. So the times that we lived together, I just wish that, I wouldn't have probably just hit him over his head and stuff like that. So I'm appreciative that he was such a good young man. He impacted so many people. He's going to change people's lives. And he was just an overall good man, good guy. And I mean, every year we had a birthday party for him. I mean, every single year. He went ice skating how many times? It was like 2 years in a row he had to do ice skating, and it's just like I was over it. But but I love my brother, and I'm thankful.
Alexa, anything you want to say first before I have your mom? Loud.
Yeah,
I
say it
just
loud.
want to say happy birthday, Joe. I love you.
My girl. That's it right there. That's it right there. Go ahead, Tracy.
Well, yeah, I was honored for Joe to be my son. He was a good young man. He was a good son. We had a very strong bond. I'm gonna miss him. I miss him every second. And
While you're talking, can you Google his face? Just type in obituary. It should pop up. See if you can put his face on the screen while you're talking, Tracy. Keep talking.
okay, but yeah, like I said, I'm just honored that was my child, and just people just remember him for the good things that he did for everyone, and let's come together to find justice for him and the others. There's other mothers that are hurting just like me, and they want justice for their child too. And just in honor of his name, let's come together.
Good. If you can, do it. If not, don't worry about it. Again, I'm going to go ahead and end it with my song. My man Deacon to be Melvin McKnight gave me his song, but I'm going to go ahead and end it with my song because he said he gets sad, I think. I think he's probably gets sad on this song.
I think everyone does.
Everybody does?
Yeah.
First of all, I acknowledge my ancestors. I acknowledge Leo Del Perry Sr. That's my father. That's my mother's father. And Ruby Elizabeth Perry. That's my mother's mother. It hurts, but we can always continue to acknowledge Joe II. Because at the end of the day, Joesph II is changing the city of Battle Creek. Yep. I can deal when y'all say it's kind of rough. It's been hard living. I can get that butter, but it's a good song. Edward West Smith's my father's dad, and Gussie Smith, my father's mother, and my father who's gone, Edward Hugh Daniel Smith Sr., and my mom who's still right here with me, and I'm just grateful to that. Love her to death. Georgia, it will be Georgia Perry Howard. Listen, Battle Creek, we're going to keep doing it. We're going to keep loving each other. We're going to pray as a family, y'all. Give my hand. These are my spiritual daughter here, Sister Tracy, and my little spiritual daughter here. Come on over here, girl. We're going to pray. Get behind us. Be like the bishop. Put your hand on your sister's shoulder and your mama's shoulder. Joesph, we got you, man, in spirit. You here with us right now. Joesph Bowser Sr., you with us right now. Father, in Jesus' name, I thank you for giving us the tools to give hope to a family that wouldn't have any hope. I thank you for all the friends and families in the studio that's not just only here in assignment, but they're here because they care about the Bowser family also, the Cummings family. They care about all. God, I thank you. I thank you, God, right now for Tracy. I thank you for Tracy's biological family. I thank you for Tracy's family that have reared her. What's the other side of the family? I know I'm praying, but
Williams.
No, Williams.
Clark.
What else? The other one?
Clark.
Williams and Clark family. Thank you for your support. And now God bless us and bless this family. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.